What's happening, fellas? So, moments ago, got a call. Good friend of mine. It's out and about in his 78, 79 Volare. Just got it out for the year. I don't know. Pretty late in the season. But he's out running around. He's fixing to stop by and ordered some pizza before he got here. And, well, he gave me a call. Said he came out, big old pile of transmission fluid under that said Volare.
Dang.
Probably a problem. So talked him over with him on the phone a little bit, and checking fluid levels, and he said it's got a big old leak. Hopped into it, fired it up, and she got no go. She didn't go forward, backwards. There's no goage.
It's nice.
So yeah, another buddy went out. He's fixing to go pick him up, and we're gonna bring him over to the house and see if we got the old driveway just cleaned out for him, and see if we can get him back on the road today, or if we gotta just pull that transmission right out of there. So, well, yeah, we'll come back in a minute when he shows up and see what he has to say. And I think he was doing just a little bit more than driving it, if you know what I mean.
Welcome to Hazard County.
We're not doing a lot of I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's perfectly fine. Yeah. Cummins swapped. Jesus. Well, the back driver's seat of the Super Coupe and grab the fire extinguisher just in case. Rather than not torch the other truck. Right. That's a Dodge. You don't gotta slam the door. Back driver's seat.
Huh?
Driver's seat.
Oh, I thought you said passenger.
Kids these days.
That's not a good sign. Oh,
Shit.
I'm Dustin, by the way.
Jake.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you've been driving this thing around like crazy since you picked your car crazy.
Oh. Jesus Christ. No shit. Fucking left the daisy trail in my driveway. There's beer in the cooler.
Beer?
Huh? There's beer in the cooler. Where?
Also,
Blue. It's got ice and beverage. Your torsion bar bushings are shot.
my what?
Torsion bar bushings are gone.
Yeah, why the whole front end's on hot? That's part of the reason.
Jesus, right. Those are cute shoes.
Is that the bed
My-
off the
my sister's got
D100?
What?
Is that the bed off the D100?
Oh, the one out
Where are
there?
you looking? You
He's
got-
talking about the one that's
65?
over here in the trailer.
Oh, that's off 66 W250 short box.
Ah, I was close.
Oh, I didn't know how far you wanted it.
The 65 D100 with the dual headlights and them turn signals that makes it look like a face.
Yep.
My dream truck.
I grew up with my grandpa's 69 W250 single cab short box. Volley.
How much farther?
Well, Jesus Christ, you fucking jumped this thing?
No.
Okay.
To Hazard County.
Whatever you say.
You gotta remember, this car was a hodgepodge when I bought it.
Oh, I think it might be.
I know it is.
Let's go in here. You're gonna need to kick that.
Kick what?
Jack stands in the air on one side.
Oh yeah, it is.
There you go.
I'm kidding. We are all gonna die.
Oh, there's a big mat over there. Most people would lay on it instead of dirt. Just me though. All right, Keith, what'd you break?
Oh, I smoked the transmission on the 79 Volare. Messed up the torque converter. So now we're here underneath, taking the tranny out.
And you're gonna massacre the driveway with transmission fluid?
I'm pretty sure we're all empty on tranny fluid.
Okay. Well, we'll find out when you tip it.
Yeah.
My tail shaft's gonna dump right out.
So what do you got left?
Oh, I have the cross members still to go, and a few of the bell housing bolts.
Few? You mean 7?
No, 7. There's only
The top ones left?
the top 2.
There's more than 2. The fun ones are up there.
I know, that's where I am.
Oh, fancy.
Will you listen to this guy, Edith?
Right.
That's much too early. Prepare to fast forward. Preparing to fast forward.
Alright guys, we got Keith's 904 out of his transmission, or out of his car. We did drop the pan before we took everything apart, and the whole pan was full of aluminum, kind of like our 727 debacle earlier this year. Basically what I found was a very fine amount of aluminum when I did pull the pan. And usually when you find that, it has led to torque converter failure. So we pulled it out, and we have our original torque converter here, and the whole inside is a jumble mess of aluminum. All the parts of the torque converter are scattered all over inside of it. So we 100% say that the torque converter was a failure this time, and sadly this torque converter is only a couple of years old, so we needed to, I'm pretty sure the thrust washer is what failed, just like the 727 problem we had earlier this year. Bad, cheap parts, unfortunately, is what it comes down to.
Look, junk.
I don't know why these torque converter companies are getting away with putting plastic thrust washers instead of steel and stuff, but it is killing transmissions. We wouldn't be here right now if they would actually put the right parts in this instead of taking the cheap way out. So we are going to get this cleaned up and get the transmission mount and everything off of it, and then my transmission guy is going to be here in about an hour. We're going to do a analysis of what he thinks on it and compare it to what I think. This transmission actually was rebuilt. We looked on the snout of it, and it says November of 2017. So, and Keith hasn't put a lot of miles on this car, so there's not really a whole lot of reason for failure, but torque converter. But luckily we went through the parts stash. I found another torque converter off another 904, so he might be able to make that work. He doesn't have a high horsepower car, so a stock high stall converter will work perfect for him, and I just so happen to have one in stock. None of our cars are really stock, so I really don't have a use for it. So if we can get this Volare back on the road quick as possible, it works out for everybody. But we'll get back to you when Dan the training man gets here. Yes, that is his name, Dan the training man. I mean, that guy just meant to do transmissions, I guess. And he does great work. If you're in Michigan, need a transmission built, highly recommend him. He's out of central Michigan area, and that man knows how to build a 727 or 904 like nobody's business, and he treats you right. So, but yeah, we'll get back to you when Dan's here, see what he thinks about this whole thing, and have him load it up and take it back to his shop. We won't follow him that far because we got things to do, but we'll see what his first analysis of it is. But pretty sure he's going to come to the same conclusion that I got. But being as this transmission was just rebuilt not long ago, I think Dan will probably be able to get away with just cleaning, separating the case, breaking it down, cleaning everything, getting all the aluminum out of there, because there's a lot of fine aluminum through everything. So we are going to put new lines on it before we put it back in the car, and it'll probably be a week before we have the transmission back, but good progress for the day. So yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit when Dan's here. Well guys, Dan the training man was here, picked up our 904 from Keith's car. He pretty much gave the same decision I did, that full-on torque converter failure. So he took the transmission torque converter. He's going to go through the transmission this week and have it gone through and rebuilt for Keith's 79 Volare. And hopefully, if everything goes right and we get our torque converter and everything, we'll be putting Keith's car back together next weekend, and so that we can get it back on the road. Sadly, this is the first time he's actually had the car out this year, and he wasn't able to drive it very much because darn torque converter decided to fail on him. So, but we're gonna do a couple of other things with the car while it's here, and we've already changed the fuel filter and a couple other small things. We even gave him a pretty cool license plate. So
1,200 horsepower.
Yeah, overall we're gonna get this car back on the road because he needs to be able to enjoy it. So, but yeah, that's today's episode of Dutch Guy's Garage. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, commenting. That's awesome. Love it. So, but we're gonna get some tools cleaned up. We're gonna get back to working on the 73 crew cab. We can't do much more to Keith's car today, so we can get back to working on that. But yeah, so I will catch you guys later, and always remember, they don't move until you do, and that's absolute truth.